Soken's just the way that Soken uses music is more impressive than the shit happening on screen. And the shit happening on screen is incredible and amazing and mind-blowing. But dude, that music happening in the background.
Hey everybody, before we get started, I just wanted to say, if you enjoy our content and want to stay up to date with our videos, hit the subscribe button. It really helps the channel. Thanks. So, on to the video.
Hello everyone, this is Age for my channel, Random Drop, and I played the Final Fantasy 16 demo. What am I saying? It was fucking incredible, right? Like, after all these years of following this team from 14, to see them finally not be held back by an MMO, to let their wings unfurl and be like,
that's them done.
And let Yoshida unfurl and Soken to be like, give us a AAA budget and we're gonna make a fucking 5A game or 5-star game, however you want to describe it. The production behind this game is incredible, and I guess I want to like point out some highlights. The one of the biggest highlights is of course the Dragoon fight. Dude, they're just screwing with 14 fans when this guy showed up. So the Groot shows up, and Soken perfectly melds the music to time with him standing at the top of the tower. And then the dude just jumps off and spikes down. Clives does a badass dodge. And then Estinian's voice actor comes out and says, "May I have this dance?" And it's incredible. And it's specifically there to make 14 fans squee with joy, because they're hearing their favorite boy Estinian. It sucks that we kill him, but maybe every Dragoon will have his voice, because they're like this faceless armored dudes, and maybe like the whole sect will have his awesome ass voice. But it was really cool to see that. That was probably one of the biggest highlights. And then the ending part where you're playing as the Phoenix, right? Soken's just, the way that Soken uses music is more impressive than the shit happening on screen. And the shit happening on screen is incredible and amazing and mind-blowing. But dude, that music happening in the background and how it's timed with every little frame and change and pacing in the fight. Dude, this guy's gonna pop off on this game. This game is gonna be insane. That moment, if you've ever played 14, that whole structure is how every raid fight in Final Fantasy 14 is. Perfectly timed and tuned to blend with the music. Every single emotional cutscene as well, he tunes it with such just perfect tuning, and it's mind-blowing. And yeah, that dive, and I liked watching other streams and everyone's just, that music is going and people are popping off. And I think this game is gonna be awesome to stream, because people are gonna really enjoy just going for the ride as well. It's kind of like a watch along because there's so many cutscenes, but also has the combat and the challenges that we can delve in further into the game down in the future. But it's just gonna be like, just like Final Fantasy 14 streams actually. People love watching the MSQ for Final Fantasy 14. They're emotional vampires. They show up in droves and droves and droves just to watch someone else play that game and relive those experiences through someone else. Not many story games do that. Fucking God of War, like I just watched maybe like one person stream God of War or something like that, right? Or any other game with like this massive story. There's very few where I'll go back and like want to emotionally vampire someone, right? And 16 is going to be that again. So it's just going to have this momentum of just, it's just going to keep showing up. And there's going to be a new person playing it. And it's going to be another thing where come in, it's like, hey, it would be really fun in your stream if you played 16. Just like people do with 14. And people are going to be walking billboards again. So this game is going to sell and do just fine. Those fears of like the pre-orders and all that, it's going to be fine. This game is going to blow people's minds. And people never talk about buying PS5s, but that's all I'm like reading on Twitter, and I was like, oh shit, it looks like I have to buy a PS5, huh? And like, yeah, you probably do, unless you want to wait a year for the PC version, which Yoshida and their teammate 14, that PC version is probably gonna be rock fucking solid, which is super exciting. I hope they add like a, hey, we're working on this, we might as well add extra boss fights or something, right? But I digress. Yeah, so the music and the ending, the story beats have been, I mean, if you've been following, it was neat to watch people who were playing the game who'd never seen a trailer before, maybe saw the last couple trailers, and they were surprised by all the like the plot twists at the beginning and with all the character deaths and things like that. If you've been watching any trailer, like, this has been hinted at and revealed for a very long time now, right? Like how this beginning part of Clive's childhood is going to play out. So like, of course I wasn't really surprised there. It was more of the dialogue and the cutscenes and the production values was what was impressing me, right? And then the spectacle of it all, because I knew story-wise what was going to kind of happen just from the trailers, like, oh, the dad's going to fucking get killed and he's going to turn into the bird and Ifrit's going to fight the bird and kill the bird. But all the little like the lore bits and all the people talking on the sides as you explore around, hanging out with Jill in the little areas, all that is, it's just, I got so immersed and it was so cool. Yeah, I was lost in it, man, and I was hitting that lore button so much. There's one bit of lore that, like, maybe they'll explain it later in the game, because I mean Clive's gonna get the mark too, is the bearer mark. Like, what does that actually mean? Why are these people slaves? I mean, if you don't want to get spoiled, I mean, you can look it up as soon as after you talk to the first bearer, that people with magic are enslaved at birth and they're used as tools, is basically what's happening there. So unless you're an icon, you're like kind of the only allowed magic user, I guess. And everyone else is literally used as a tool because they can channel ether without having to use a crystal, and it saves resources, basically. So yeah, the immersion of the world is, again, I was totally lost in it. And yeah, I mean that's kind of my highlights of the game itself. If you're coming to this game kind of having no idea, like, why are people talking about this Yoshi P guy and this Soken guy, you're about to find out. You're gonna fuck around and you're about to find out why people love these guys so far. With Yoshida, it's a little bit gonna be, because Yoshida's power is in production and producing a game. You see him a lot in the MMO because MMOs are constantly growing, so he lets out roadmaps and be like, hey, we're doing this next room. I'm setting up my team to do this. This is our pathway. With a single player game, you kind of see the guy up till the game launches and he's just gone, right? And then it's mainly the director and all that gets credit. But Yoshida's the guy in the background making sure they have enough resources to do what needs to be done. Picking the right and hiring the right people, all that, right? He's the producer of the game. And he is a very good producer. 14 is very, in the like 10 years 14 has been running, there's been very, very few hiccups. Like, maybe one or two, right? In terms of like delays or something like that. And when they happened, they were a serious thing. With 16, the game was announced and it came out, man. Like, that's more than most AAA games. And that's definitely way better than 90% of Final Fantasy games. So here we are, this man running 2 games and then putting out a banger like this. This dude is, when people talk about like all-time developers, right? Or like, he's the way I think of him, like the same way people think of Hideo Kojima, right? Or the creator of Mario, or the guy who did Smash Brothers, right? I can't think of their names right now, but he is on that level, man. He is Yoshi God, and he has never slipped up, and the dude has been rock solid and on point for a very long time now, man. He's basically carrying Square Enix on his fucking back. And one day he may slip, right? Maybe he will make a bad game one day or something. But man, that dude's been on fire for a while. And yeah, I can't give him enough credit. But the people he also picked are also top aces, man. Koji with the translations and the story and lore, along with the main writer, and then Soken, who is one of the most varied and talented musical artists ever at this point. He has such a wide variety of different types of music, and yeah, there's like some weird songs here and there, but dude, there's so many bangers. Like going through 14 is just banger, 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 banger. The community has an excitement every time there's a new patch to look for the new Soken music. That shit didn't happen in World of Warcraft. That shit doesn't happen in most games. People don't even know the composer of most games. Who's the composer of WoW? Right? It's composers are rarely pop out unless it's like something like Nobuo Uematsu or the Doom guy. It's very rare because they usually have a specific sound or made a specific track that everyone remembers. But you can't do that with Soken. You can't be like, that track, that's what defines Soken. No, dude, this guy has everything under his belt. And it's awesome to see the guy who did Mario Hoops to finally be able to be noticed properly, man, because he's been stuck in the MMO like house, right? He has hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of songs, but it's because he's in an MMO, and the fans there recognize him and love him and appreciate him. But the world needs to appreciate this guy. He is on top of it and incredible, and the way he uses music is top notch. And that's all I gotta say. That's me sucking 16's dick for the past 10 minutes. But yeah, that's how I feel about it, man. The demo was incredible. And I just wanted to like let that out. I will be streaming the game on Rumble and Kick whenever it comes out, and I'm going to play the shit out of it. I do plan on doing like the harder modes and the new game pluses and all that for the more challenging parts. But man, am I damn excited. I've been waiting for this game since it was announced, because I respect Yoshi P and his team, and I want to see what they're capable of. Because if this does good, they're gonna make the next Final Fantasy if this one does well. There's no... A board of directors will not look at this and be like, nah, we should just give it to some other random asshole. Like, no, unless like Yoshida denies it, which he very may well. This is gonna lay the groundwork for the future of the franchise for years to come and set the tone, because a Final Fantasy game has not set a tone for quite a while, and it's about damn time. So, hey, did you play the 16 demo? How do you feel about it? How do you feel about the development or like the content of the game? Is turn-based an issue for you? Like, just spew your feelings on 16 in itself, as I did, and we can have that discussion in the comments. But yeah, like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you next time. Peace.